So let's talk about it. So improving your yield. One of the best ways to do it, first thing is to have a calendar. Some kind of system, a calendar, or some kind of program to know and get your weekly cycles in. You can use a whiteboard like we're using. We use this whiteboard that you're seeing here. It had all our tracking stuff on it in the beginning. It had days of the months and days of the weeks and X's on which products and everything else. It worked good when we had 5 products. When we got 12, 13, 14 products, it did not work well anymore. That's why we went to the spreadsheet to keep track and get our weekly crops in there. But some system, whatever you're using to get weekly crops, you can start with a simple calendar in the beginning and write on it. You don't have to get too technical or too advanced, but once you want to go into everything else, you may want to look at Farm Flow, Seed Leaf, one of them programs to help you out, to keep track of everything. Adapting. So adapting to faster growths, they're easier to adapt.
Because there are some you put on your board.
Yep.
You put luxury, being able to adapt.
Fine. All right. So adapting. These crops are so much easier to adapt to than like traditional farming. So you're out in the field, you plant something, it takes 2 months, 3 months to grow. You can't make changes. In this 10-day cycles, most of them, ones you should be starting with 10-day cycles, you're going to know in 10 days if it's not growing well. Really, you're going to know if you get germination or a few days on the shelf, you're going to know what it's not. And you can make some fast, adaptable changes to growing. So it makes it really easy on that fast growth to be able to adapt to how you're growing and change and grow new products if you need to get to customers. And you got 10 days. You're only 10 days behind ever. If your crop fails, it's 10 days. You can grow it again 10 days, get it back out to somebody. So you can adapt much easier and much faster than you can do on traditional cropping. So in quick experiments, they're 10-day growths. So you can experiment with stuff. Like we experiment all the time still to this day. Does seed work better? Does it work better if we let it germinate for 4 days? If we put it underneath a dome, like sunflowers under a clear dome, does that work better? So many ways you can experiment in a short period of time and get better yields. So like we're getting tremendous yields off of our sunflowers now because we're doming them for 2 days under clear domes and letting them grow tall and get seed hulls off. That's amazing. Rather than we just let them grow underneath lights normally and get good yields. Seed hulls were stuck a little bit more. So, you can experiment really quick on these products. So that is what's so great about this. And you can improve your yields, the quality, everything else really, really fast. So, but in that, you got to adjust. So you're adjusting as you go along as well, too. Seed density. We recommend starting with our seed density and maybe jumping up a little bit and trying to push that yield a little bit, little by little. So maybe 20 grams, maybe you're going to 22 or 23 or 25 grams on a crop to see if you can get better yield at it. Grow that as a separate trade than what you need to sell to your customers. And then that way you can experiment with that and you can continue growing your other stuff and find out if it works. If it works, you have a perfect product at 25 grams and you're getting 2 more ounces of yield out of it. Awesome. Now you can grow less trays. So keep experimenting with that with the seed density. Experiment with your soil. Adjust your soil. We started with a Pro Mix. Actually, we started with the stuff from Menards in the orange, black and yellow bags. We started with that. That's what we grew with. It grew okay, grew fine. Then we went to a Pro Mix DX. It grew better, fit just fine. Not much difference in yield, just grew better. And then we went to Coco Loco. Amazing difference in yield. Water retention's awesome. So always experiment with your soil for your environment. Your environment might be different than what ours are. So always experiment with soil that you can get locally. That's going to be your cheapest soil. You also don't want to spend $42 locally getting Coco Loco sometimes. That's too expensive. You're not going to make money at that. You're going to make less money. Light cycles and intensity. So your light cycles, we do 12-12 now. We did 18, 16, 15, 12, all the way down to 12 hours on. That's what works best for us. Get great yield still. Didn't see a difference at 18, but it might be different for you. You might want to try different intensity. You might want to be 1 light, 2 lights, maybe 1 and 3 T5s versus 2 T8s. I recommend 2 T5s or 1 T8, but experiment for you. What works better for you? No, there's no one way of doing this, but experiment for you and find out how that's going to work for you to get better cycles, better light cycles. Maybe you can grow your crops in 9 days or 8 days with the different lights. We like to stay on a 10-day cycle though. That just works great for what we do. Experiment with your watering, always adjusting that. Like you go to different soils, you're gonna have to change your watering from the bag we got from Menards to compare to BX, compared to Coco Loco. They were different watering. You don't have to water as heavy on a Coco Loco. You know, you're at the water heavier on that bag from Menards, less on the BX. You know, so it's just wherever you're at, what soil you're using, what medium you're using. If you're using a mat, that's going to be different. So all that stuff's going to be different. So make sure that you are experimenting with your soil and figuring that out as well in your watering. So that's that. This is where most people are going to get hung up in watering. Experiment with that. That's going to make the biggest difference in your growth, good growth, bad growth, mold, not mold, all that stuff. And it's a fine line. You're better off watering light and then maybe adding some for on the next day or later in the day as you go along. It's better to water light and let the crops dry out than it is to overwater them and kill them. There's no coming back from that. So if you overwater. So in all this, you want to keep track of this on your tracking sheet, which we will have a tracking sheet that you guys can use to keep track of all your crops, all your experiments in the beginning, all your experiments going forward, all that to keep track of your crops so you know what you're doing. This is highly important to write and record everything. You're not going to know. You're not going to remember. Did we see that at 25 or was it 23? You're not going to remember that. A lot of things go on in life. Life happens. Not just business, not just microgreen growing. Life happens. And you're going to forget stuff. So write it down. Record everything in some form or fashion. You can use the tracking sheet. You can use whatever you need to do. Just make sure you write it down somewhere. And remember to share. Get in the community. Share in the community. It can help somebody else. And it also, if you can ask questions in there, we can answer the questions as well as we go through the week. You don't have to wait for just the group calls. And it's going to help somebody else. If you have the question, somebody else has the question. If you messed up, if you did something bad, great. It's a great learning experience. Share it with other people, and we will see you over there in the community. 2 minutes to spare.